Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about the real illnesses that could accumulate and pop up if you continue to suffer from anxiety over a long period of time. This video, my goal is to help you add fuel behind you so that you are more determined to go through this anxiety recovery. And also, you want to put reasons and you want to acknowledge the reasons why you don't want to fall back into your old patterns, your old destructive patterns. Now, my clients who come to me, they're not coming to me because they have a real physical, mental problem, but they're coming to me because everything in their life has gotten beyond them and they don't know what to do. There's too much to grapple with. And there's a lot of things underneath the surface that needs to be dealt with in order for them to lessen the baggage, right? And so my channel is all about that. It's all about overcoming anxiety. What can you do? The steps, the strategies, the tools. This is a recovery channel. This is not a coping channel. So after this video, make sure you binge and you watch all these other videos on my channel and listen to my podcast, take notes and keep listening, because that's part of the process, is to learn and grow and develop and implement those strategies so that you can get to that better place. Because if you don't overcome anxiety, number one, your adrenaline and cortisol will be continuously active. And because it's continuously active, it causes a lot of physical damage. One being weight gain. If you're stressed, you could gain a few pounds because of the stress alone. Now, it's interesting because Maggie, my fiance, she's a veterinary technician. She had a stressful week and she came to me saying, "Brad, I think I gained a couple pounds." And after we talked, we came to the conclusion because you were stressed. Well, she came to that conclusion because she eats a very strict diet, right? She fasts 24/7. She eats only a limited amount of foods, no sugar, no gluten, hardly any carbs. But so we know that it's not because she's been eating donuts or, binging on sugar, right? It's the cortisol because how stressed her week has been. Number two, anxiety causes rapid heart rate. It causes chest pains, heart palpitations. And if your anxiety continues over a long period of time, you're increasing your risk of high blood pressure and also heart disease. Now, you can see when you go to the doctor's office, right, when you're sitting there, you're overly sensitive of being at the doctor's, you're ruminating over all of these what if thoughts. What if they detect that I have this? What if they detect I have that? What if I faint when they give me the needle? Whatever it is. Their anxiety has risen because of all of those catastrophic thoughts. The nurse comes in, takes your blood pressure. They say, "Brad, it's high." And you start to flip out even more. They are more concerned. Because they're concerned, your anxiety even increases. But the reason your blood pressure was probably high was because of how stressed you were. I've seen this with one of my clients. Before, when he had high medical anxiety, the nurse took his blood pressure. It was high. His anxiety increased and his catastrophic thoughts increased. But then after our coaching, what happened was he went back to the doctors more confident, more grounded, and they took his blood pressure. What happened? It was in the normal range. That's very interesting. Number three is anxiety compromises your digestion and also your bowel movements, right? Because when you're in anxiety mode, your body's not concerned about food and digestion. It's focused on your reaction to the perceived danger. Your body's more tense, the blood flow to your heart and your limbs increases. Also, that's what happens when you're hyperventilating. But your body's not concerned about digesting your food. It's not worried about eating. It wants to respond accordingly to the perceived danger. And anxiety sufferers are in this mode, can be in this mode for weeks, months, and even years. And it compromises every aspect of their immune system. And there is a link between IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and anxiety. So you might experience stomach aches, loss of appetite, nausea, diarrhea, very common. Number 4 is you're more susceptible to illnesses. Why? Well, your body is not getting back into its normal functioning. It's the parasympathetic nervous system mode, right? That's your rest and digest system. That's when you're taking a walk in the woods and you feel completely relaxed. That's when you are sleeping at night and you're getting a full night's rest. That's when you're meditating and you fall completely into this calm, serene meditation mode, or you're taking this hot bath. There's not a lot of stress happening right now in your life. There's not a lot of underlying problems. You have a good grip over everything in your life at this moment. There's not a lot of stress. Your digestion is functioning properly, and all the workers are getting their proper breaks. Your heart is getting its break when you're in your rest and digest mode. So imagine a factory of all of these workers, and you're a tyrant, and you're like, no breaks for anybody. You have to work 24/7. And what happens? They all burn themselves out to a crisp, right? Eventually. And that's the same with your car. Imagine your car is in park, your foot is on the gas pedal, and you're burning up that engine, you're revving that engine. What happens? You're more likely going to flood the engine. You're going to burn up all your gas, your oil, and you're just going to compromise the engine. So that's what you're doing to your body. You're compromising the strength and the power, the healing power of our bodies. Our bodies are healing machines. Now, the more you're in anxiety mode, the more likely you're going to get sick often. Number 5 is you lose sleep. And the fact that you lose sleep is absolutely crucial for your mental and physical health. When you sleep, you generate more white blood cells that help attack bacteria and viruses. Matthew Walker, who I highly recommend you follow and listen to, he has many podcasts out there where he talks about sleep, but he also has a book called Why We Sleep. He says that adults limited to 4 hours of sleep for one night has a 70% has a 70% drop in natural killer cells. The cells that help fight cancer. So there's a 70% drop of these natural killer cells when you, for one night, get 4 hours of sleep. So imagine somebody who's not sleeping for weeks and months. And I've seen this with friends who are not sleeping properly, who are stressed out of their minds. And I have had one friend that went to the hospital for heart issues, and I saw a link between his lifestyle and what happened with his heart, right? Remember, our bodies are healing machines if you treat it accordingly, right? Number 6 is you can get depression over, if your anxiety continues. Why? Because you're compromising your relationships, you're compromising your job, performance, you might get fired, and that causes depression. 7, you avoid places, right? You avoid places to the point where your whole world shrinks smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where you're at home and you can't even leave your house. So, when you can't even leave your house, everything is a dragon. How are you supposed to go out there and deal with that dragon when you haven't even proved to yourself that you have the right tools and techniques, the strategies, right? That's my channel. Continue implementing the tools, the strategies, techniques that I go over on this channel so that you can fight that dragon. You can declutter everything going on in here. You can be the person that can solve the problems that are currently going on in your life and that have been stored within you, repressed problems, right? So not only the problems that are happening now with your family, your job, your health, but also the problems that were in from your past that are still there. You're still stuck in that past that you need to confront and deal with and solve. Deepak Chopra, who I highly recommend you look into and follow, I admire him. He says that 5% of illnesses come from our genes, right? So if somebody says to you, well, it runs in my family, cancer runs in my family. Yeah, but that's a 5% chance because it runs in your family. But it's 95% lifestyle choice. Is 95% of whether you get that disease. Only 5% is from your genes. That's worth thinking about. So look at your lifestyle. What are you doing? Are you smoking? What are you eating? Too many carbs? Too much sugar? Not getting enough sleep? Not solving the problems of your past and the current situations that you're currently going through? Are you ignoring things that you know you should look at and solve? And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you so much. If you're interested, I highly recommend my recovery program. It's a structured CBT and NLP based program. If you go to the link below, there's a video on the program, what it's all about. I describe it in detail. And remember, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video or podcast. Bye for now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.